everyone, welcome to Sherry's Painting. So today we are going to be painting this beautiful little tulip. I just thought it was a really nice little painting because it's spring and the sun's out today finally. So it just came to mind. So I love the ones that have the mixture of color in there. So we're going to paint this. It's probably going to take about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so to paint that up. I hope you can join along with me. So what we're going to need for this little painting today, I'm using a Paul Rubens watercolor pad or block, which means it's stuck in here, and then we'll disconnect it after. It is 140-pound cold pressed paper, so it has a little bit of grit to it, but it's still smooth. So really nice, lovely little watercolor paper. We are going to be using watercolor paints. We're going to use some scarlet color. We're going to be using gamboge, as well as maybe some yellow ochre. We're going to be using a little bit of light green and sap green as well for watercolors, and a bit of Payne's gray. And if I use any other colors, I will let you know. The brushes that we're going to be using are this little flat brush here. It's a pretty little one. It's a little cheap one. I think I got it in the cheap packages, but it serves me well and it stays together. Also, I'll be using a Princeton 6 round as well, and I may or may not use a liner brush. I'll let you know. We will be using 0.5 and 0.3 Micron pen as well, and possibly we will be using the N60 Tombow pen and the N79 Tombow pen. Again, I will let you know. Also a little bit of black, the N15 Tombow pen, possibly. You're going to need some paper towel, and also 2 jugs of water, 1 for rinsing and 1 for cleaning, okay? And then I think that's about it. Without further ado, I think we're just gonna go ahead and get started on that. So I'll be right back. So you all may want to draw this out. I used a pen just to draw it out in the last one, but just because, you know, we might be not feeling so great about that, some of us, I will use the Tombow pen, the N95, to draw it. So it's going to be a very light sketch, and these are water soluble, so once we get the watercolor on there, these will mostly disappear. So basically we're doing a little stem. I'm just going to press a little harder. I'm hoping you guys can see that. It's going to be a little stem just like that, and then we're going to just go ahead and put this, and very roughly draw this little tulip shaped flower on there. And I am just sort of going by how I feel. So you know, if you guys want to have a reference photo up or something, you're most, you know, able to do that, then for sure that's a good idea. But that's pretty much it for the drawing. It's pretty laid back and simple, and then all I'm going to do is take my number 3 Micron pen, or 0.3 Micron pen, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to draw that again. And I'm going to go over it. And when I'm holding my Micron pen, you notice I'm holding it way here because I really don't want these lines to be straight. Okay, I don't want I want the lines to have a little bit of character to them. So I'm just sort of going with how I feel as far as the lines go. I'm just basically just waving it and wiggling it here and there, and then I'm just going to put a couple petals to indicate in the back there. This is going to come around here because that'll be the inside. And again, it's just a really wiggly little motion, and we just want the basics for now. So there we go. That is the initial sketch. Nothing too serious there. Pretty simple. And then we're going to apply some color. So let's do the color. So I want you guys to spray your paints a little bit here. I've got a little bit of water, and I like to activate my paints before I go ahead and work with them. So I'm gonna spray, and it's just a little light here. Maybe I'll show you guys what I'm doing, just so you know. So just a little light, little spray, just to get the things moving and a-shaking. And then I'll put that on. This little spray bottle I got is perfect for that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my number 6 round Princeton brush. I'm gonna dip it in some water. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this back the other way. I'm gonna use my flat brush first. And what I'm gonna do is dip it in some water, and I'm gonna pick up some of the light green color. And you guys can do whatever color you like, but I'm just gonna go around the edge here and lightly apply some color around the edge of the flower first. Just because I feel like we need a bit of a background. I'm not going in the flower, I'm just going around the flower. So just to do a little background on it first. This is so simple, you guys, you're gonna love this. Like, you're gonna be surprised how easy this is. And you don't want a whole lot of paint. You just, you know, this is pretty watered down here, but I want enough to be able to see, okay? So there we go, just a little bit of color there. Again, I'm gonna dip in some paint here, and I might add a little bit of yellow in there as well. I think I just changed up the green there without even really thinking about it. So I think I'm going to put in a little yellow as well, just a little bit. And it doesn't matter, whatever yellow you feel like going with. And we'll just sort of mix that in, let it do its thing inside with that green. Let them both mix together. And then I'm going to probably add in a little bit more green as well. A little bit darker green. I'm just playing now, you guys. This is all just play. So I've already done it once, this painting, and I quite like the way it turned out. So now I'm just playing now and seeing what else I can do with it. So I like that. I'm going to put a few splashes on, but I'm going to try not to hit my flower as of yet. So just a couple little controlled splashes here, maybe, just to see. Yeah, there we go. Just a couple, just to add in there a little bit. There we go. And that just adds a little bit of something after. I don't want too much at the moment. I'm gonna rinse that brush off, dip it in some clean water, and leave that sit for a minute. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the yellow, and I am gonna go into my gamboge yellow, but you can pretty much use whatever yellow color you want. And I'm gonna have a pretty good amount of this color on my brush, and I'm just gonna start here and work it up a little bit and up in through here. And then we're gonna be changing this up a bit. I'm just gonna dip it in water, spread that color out a little bit more, up in here. And then what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going into some of the reds as well. I'm just gonna put a little yellow here, a little yellow here as well, back in here. And we're just gonna have this piece on the inside here more with the red color. So now I'm gonna wash my brush again, and I'm gonna go right into my scarlet color, and we're gonna try and blend these now. In here, it's gonna be really dark, but I'm gonna try and blend in here, just at the edges here. And I'm gonna let it do its thing, you guys. So that's the big thing here. We want it to do its thing. Dip it in just a little bit of water, and again, curl it around the edge and inside here too, around in here. And I just, you know, we're gonna go over this again once it dries, but I just like letting it do its thing here. And it will spread the way it wants to spread. There you go. And then you just let those little things happen, and you just find that it's a very light little touch, and it tends to it just makes it so cool. So just a nice light little touch there. I think I'm going to put in a little bit more yellow in here as well, just to make that a little bit darker here. And in that area there, just to blend it in a little bit more. Again, around in here and there, around here and there. And then we're gonna do the stem, and don't think we're done, because we're definitely not done yet. I'm gonna use just a different color green for that stem. And I'm just gonna put a tiny touch on the base here for the stem, and then you'll see what we're gonna do with that later. I'm gonna add a few more little doodads in here, and then we are gonna splatter as well with the red. So just like this, just to give that a little bit more pizzazz here. And just spread that on for a minute, and then we're gonna let that dry. So let's let that dry. I'll be back for the next step in a couple minutes. Hey everybody, so now we're gonna go in, and we're gonna go in with the pen. And we are going to just go and add a little bit of line work with our pen. So basically I've got the same pen, and I'm just going to go over these lines again, and I'm not using any particular I'm definitely not using straight lines, and I'm just going to go in here and add and just sort of make some interesting little shapes, because this is a tulip. It's not quite bloomed yet, or it's closed for the morning perhaps, but we're just going to make some squiggly little lines in here just to indicate those petals. And then I might go in and add a little bit of hatching here, and I might just do some more little squiggly lines in here and in here. In here, I'm going to add a little bit of hatching here, just at the base of that stem. And I just want it to be soft, but also not. So now I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go straight into that red. I'm dipping it in the water because I want to make this a little red, really red in here, just like that, just to show the darkness in there, and possibly around in that area, back in there, and also out here. I mean, it's certainly not looking like my first one did, but they're never going to be the same. I'm going to dip that in a little bit of water, and I'm going to go in with some yellow again, a little bit of water, and then we're just going to go and blend these again just to make it nice and bright. Because you know how these little tulips, they have, especially when they're multicolored like this, it all just flows together so lovely. But we want to indicate this darkness in here, because that's the inside. And then I also want to put a little bit more yellow in there as well. And that almost turns it like an orangey color now on that inside there. So it's a nice bright little tulip. I'm going to add a little bit of light green to that side piece there, but I'm going to just leave a hint of green there, or a hint of white there, just to make that stand out a little bit. And I might add a little bit more green around the edge as well now. Just get it in a little bit closer. And honestly, it looks amazing, this little flower. And so with that, I'm gonna call that done. And how easy and simple was that? So make sure you all sign your work. I'm gonna sign mine. And then we will see you on the next painting. Bye everyone, hope you enjoyed it.